Now let's fill in the back of the rear piece that we just created with some geometry and draw out some edges. Okay, so here's the piece we created. You can see I've extruded down a little bit right here. I just took those edges and extruded them down and then merged those vertices. But now we want to go in and actually fill in this back part with some geometry real quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and select Border Edge tool and see if that gives me my border, which it should. You can see that that selected all those edges. And now I'm just going to do a fill hole real quickly, just to get a face in there. And now one thing to be aware of, we need to go ahead and go in and draw this geometry out. But you want to look at this. If we start drawing right here across, that's going to create a line right here basically. So we want to take the farthest point out. If we wanted to follow this curve, we want to take the farthest point out and draw that line across first. Okay, if that makes sense, you'll see it in a second. So I'm going to, with my split polygon tool, I'm going to take, say this is the farthest point out. So I'm going to find the corresponding spot over here and draw it across. Okay, and that'll give us this portion across here. You can see that if we had done something up here or across here, it's going to create a face that's inside there, and then when we go to try to move those across, there's going to be all kinds of dips and things going on. Okay, and so now I just want to go ahead and I'm just going to create a line here, right here, match it down to there, and at this point I'm going to select all these and blow them away because I don't feel like drawing out these edges on both sides because I don't really need to. So at this point, go in here, start filling these edges in. You can pull that out a little bit. Just try to match these up a little. Okay, I'm just going to continue to draw these across. A little bit. And the idea here is just to create some usable geometry instead of having this one single face going on right there. And let's see here. Go ahead and add an edge down here that we can match up with this guy right there. I'm just using my various tools, my insert edge loop and my split polygon tool. To get those edges exactly where I want them. And just try to, on this side, you want to take the edges that way. On this side, the obvious ones, you want to take them down this way. And let's go ahead and I'm going to add one more edge down here. And this is good because this is cut off, it's isolated. You can add resolution down there, and it's at the bottom, and it doesn't really, it's not going to really make that big of a difference either way. So I'm going to complete that edge. Complete that edge. And let's go ahead and do this one out as well. And we're going to be redrawing this for our extrusions for all the pieces of our back. Right now we're just trying to create some four-sided pieces on this back instead of one big face there. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and connect those right across. And let's do 2 down here. 1 and 2. And then we'll go ahead and combine, or rather draw those across. Okay. Now for this guy, it looks like we're ready to go with this. We're just going to create one right here, and I'm going to draw it right up to this guy. You can see I'm skipping this one right here, so we don't get that triangle. So that's creating a quad shape right there. So the very last one, when you're going to turn the corner and start going down instead of across, you want to skip one and then come down, if that makes sense. And then at the bottom, I've got a nice one to match up here. Oh, it looks like I missed. Looks like I missed one right there. Let's see. Let's undo that. Looks like there was one. We've got two down here. So basically, I don't really need this one. Actually, let's take a look. I think what we want to have is something in between here, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to just grab these edges right here. We don't need to have it that close because we don't need to have it that sharp, but we do need an edge there. Just pull it out like this. I'm going to grab these. And let's see what we can do to get rid of those. We'll have to do a little bit of work down here. That's all right. Actually, since we already have that there, we can take a look at how we can work this up here. Since we can put more geometry this way. I think what we might want to do is look over here and see what we can do. We added an edge down here that we might not need now. So let's go ahead and just get rid of that guy. Delete that edge. So see, if you have too many edges down here, any edges that we added along here, we just added to kind of match up the top part. This is really the important part. Down here, since this is completely flat, it's going right across, it ends right here. The number of edges we have down here is not really that important. We want to maintain this curvature up here. So basically, what I'm going to do is going to redraw this guy right over here. Match that up with that side, and then that's going to go right up to that original, right up to the this point right here. And now we have this edge and this edge, which we can match up. I want to go ahead and draw that out. And draw it kind of straight over here at an angle there. And then we can get rid of this kind of edge right here. Okay, so if you run into that where your edges aren't quite matching up, look and see where you can add and subtract edges that's not going to subtract from your model. It's not going to affect the curvature, it's not going to affect anything because it's down here, we're not going to see it, it's a flat spot, so that's not going to affect any kind of curvature. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete our history on that guy. And next we're going to come in and start drawing out, now that we've got our geometry here, let's go look at the back, we're going to start drawing out spaces for our little extrusions and scoops that we have going on our back end. Okay, we'll take care of that in the next lesson.